What is the correct way to walk?
Hi, my name is Jasmine. I'm here with Doug Weiss. He's been a physical therapist for over 30 years, and I have a viewer question that I wanted to ask him. Is there a specific way of walking that can prevent falls?
It's a good question. There's definitely incorrect ways of walking that will make it more likely that you'll fall. Shuffling, walking with your feet too wide apart, leaning forward too much or leaning backward too much when you're walking. Those are all things that are very conducive to having falls. That said, there are things that you should think about when you're walking. It is definitely advantageous to walk with your heel first. So whenever you walk, when you bring your foot forward, your heel should be the first thing that hits the ground, followed by the rest of your foot. Now, a lot of people, they understand that, but when they try to do that, they're kind of walking, I guess, more flat-footed. That's okay. Flat-footed or heel first is almost equal in terms of balance. What you want to avoid is walking with your toe first. There was an interesting thing that happened a few years back. There was a brand of shoe that came out, and it looks like a glove for your foot, so that each toe has its own individual compartment, and then there was a rubber sole on it, kind of like a sneaker sole, and it was and so that company is no longer in business because they got sued so much because so many people had injuries when they tried to walk with them. Because when you put your toe first, while there is some shock absorption that can take place, because most of us have never done that our whole lives, it's really difficult to adopt that kind of walking pattern. But also, you definitely can trip on things a lot more easily. And so most of the lawsuits were a result of people tripping or stumbling trying to use those, especially older people. So there was definitely a movement of people that thought, oh, this will make my balance better, when in actuality it made it worse. So you definitely want to walk with your heel first, or at least your foot first, not your toe first. And you want to be as upright as possible. One thing that people often don't think about is their arm swing. Our arms should swing reciprocally. So when my right arm is forward, my left foot is forward. And if you do that, it actually makes your balance better. And it does that for a real physical reason. Your arms are actually counterbalancing some of the movement of your leg. So when you watch, Olympic runners or professional football players run, they're not running stiff-armed. They're definitely moving their arm with their legs. And that, not only does that make them faster and stronger, but it also makes them a lot more stable and a lot harder to knock over. So using your arms is really important. Having an upright posture is good as much as you can. Not everybody can get their head up all the way straight, but you definitely wanna have your posture as upright as possible. Now, for a lot of people, there's a question that they should ask themselves when it comes to walking, which is whether or not they need an assistive device. And I know that's a sensitive question for a lot of people, but if your walking is limited because you're afraid of falling and you're not walking as much, that over time actually makes everything worse because you're going to get weaker, you're going to practice it less. So one question I try to ask people is my shopping cart question. I say, do you feel better when you go to the supermarket pushing the shopping cart? Do you feel like your walking is better than at other times? And honestly, if you answer yes to that question, then you would probably benefit from a rolling walker or a rollator or something that you can hold on to allow you to walk further and be more stable. So there are a lot of ways to answer the question of what's the best way to walk. It's really more correcting any deficits, making sure your heel is first, making sure you're upright, making sure you're swinging your arms. If you need an assistive device, to use that. But overall, you want to try to walk as much as you can. The most important thing about walking is to keep doing it. It's the people that really stop walking, that don't walk, any more than just to go to the bathroom or to go to their kitchen. Those are the people that see the fastest functional decline and the most troubles with their walking.
Nice. Is there any balance exercises that they could practice daily?
Yeah, definitely. In fact, there's 3 balance exercises that I always recommend that this research has shown really improve walking, and actually they hit on some of the topics we were just talking about. And so I'm going to show you those right now.
Awesome. Thank you.
So now we're going to do something called tapping. You're going to take a towel or some type of target, put it in front of you. I've got my chair in front of me too, and I'm just going to tap right leg and then the left leg. Now, if your balance is pretty good, this is an excellent balance challenge. It also helps improve your weight shifting, and you don't have to hold on. So you want to try to do it as many times as you can in 2 minutes. You can go as fast as you want. And all I'm doing is I'm just tapping the towel in front of me. I'm not putting any pressure. If you're struggling, you can put one hand on this. It's still a pretty good balance challenge. But your goal is to try to let go as much as you can and do it for 2 minutes as many times as possible. If you need to sit down and rest at any point, you can. If you're struggling with this, if you can't get your foot forward, most likely you're not shifting your weight. So you want to always shift your weight as much as you can onto the leg you're standing on, which is quite a bit. You know, when a normal person, when they shift their weight, it's about a 7-inch movement in their body. Their body is shifting over about 7 inches right to left. So you do want to really shift a lot. And if you can't do it, that's probably why, is you're not shifting. You can even hold onto the chair to allow yourself to get enough of a weight shift to do this properly. And you want to just keep going as many times as you can for the 2 minutes. But it can be tiring to do this. And if you want to stop at any point and sit down at any point, that's fine. The more times you do it, the more benefit you'll get from it. If it's a struggle, I would say try to do it every single day until it becomes easier. A lot of people that are shuffling or having trouble with their walking, when I have them practice this, it really helps improve their walking ability. Their coordination improves and they walk more normally. So we're going to do heel to toe walking. You want to grab the chair and you're just going to walk forward 3 steps, walking heel to toe, where your heel is touching your toe. Then turn around towards the chair and you're going to go 3 steps backward and then turn and come in the other direction 3 steps. You want to just keep repeating it. This is a 2-minute exercise, so if you feel tired at any point, you can sit down and rest. I'm going to try to do it for the full 2 minutes, and if you're feeling stronger, you can. So it's okay to touch the chair. Obviously, the goal of this is to do it without holding on completely, but in the beginning, when you're first learning it, you might really want to depend on the chair. My knees are also slightly bent, and I'm really putting one foot in front of the other. Now, the reason this exercise is so helpful is it's not only a really good balance challenge because your feet are closer together, so your base of support is smaller, but also you're improving your proprioception, your awareness of where your feet are. Because as you tap one foot in front of the other, you have to kind of think about where your foot is in space. One of the things that makes balance decline as we get older is our ability to know where our foot is in space and on the ground goes down. And that proprioception is so important to having good coordinated movement. So when you don't practice these type of things, sort of target things, your proprioception declines over time. So practicing this can really help you improve your balance, your coordination. It also improves your strength because you're really challenging your muscles. And I think we do one more. So we're going to practice backwards walking. You want to grab the chair, you want to turn in one direction, and then you're just trying to take 1, 2, 3 steps in one direction, then turn around, and then do 3 steps in the other direction. The goal of this is to do it without holding the chair. We're going to be doing this for 2 minutes, so at any point if you're tired, you can sit down on the other chair. You want to lift your feet up and really put your foot back behind you. Don't shuffle back. That's the tendency for a lot of people, is when they do this, they're afraid, so they shuffle backwards. Backwards walking is one of the best ways to improve your balance. There's been a lot of studies on this. And the reason that it's a good way to improve your balance is when you're practicing walking backwards, your brain knows that you know how to walk forward. So practicing it backwards is a way of improving that skill. Anytime you reverse a skill, the brain has to work a lot harder to do that. It's kind of like saying the alphabet backwards versus forward. And they find that it actually makes the skill of walking forward better. It improves that skill. But also, because you can't see behind you, it's just a little bit more challenging. So anything that challenges your balance just makes it significantly better. The other thing is you're working on some of the muscles that you don't normally use when you walk forward. And that's a good thing, because if you've never are walking backwards, there are some muscles that you need to do that. One thing about walking backwards is it's actually okay to lean forward just a little bit. And I know people always say you should stand up as straight as you can at all times, but actually when you walk backwards, it's safer if you walk just a little bit pitched forward. And this is also something that you'll find during the course of your day that you're doing a lot, which is walking backwards. So practicing it can actually make that skill better and just makes it safer for you, and you'll feel more stable. I hope you found this video helpful. Click the subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this.